Students, do you want to study and never forget what you learned? Now, here are 3 big ideas that you can implement to help you make what you're learning stick in memory. The first big idea is what we call retrieval practice. The second big idea, the second overarching idea, is what we call spaced repetition. And the third overarching idea, the third biggest idea, is what we call interleaving. And so this region where the 3 circles meet is where optimum learning takes place. Now, let's start with retrieval practice. Now, research shows that our brain remembers easily when we pull out information from memory as opposed to feeding our memory with a lot of information. So the mistake that you make when you're studying is you want to read, reread, and highlight certain areas that you want to remember, and you take so many hours, reading and reading. That is counterproductive. It doesn't work. So instead, what you should do is that you should try to pull out information from your memory. And how do you do that? By what we call the testing effect. Test yourself. Study for about 25 minutes on a particular topic or subtopic. Before you move to the next topic, test yourself how much you can be able to remember from that topic. Okay? And you can simply do it by just closing the book and trying to write down what you've been reading, or just looking for Q&A questions before you move to the next subtopic. So that is important. So in a nutshell, pulling out information from our memory strengthens the memory as opposed to bombarding our memory with a lot of information. So that is retrieval practice. Spaced repetition. Now, there is something called the forgetting curve. The forgetting curve. Now, research shows that when you space out your studies, you are able to arrest for the forgetting curve. How? Let's look at the forgetting curve. So here is knowledge retention over time, same as this one, retention over time. So let's start by looking at mass repetition, back-to-back reading. You're reading biology today, you're reading the same topic tomorrow, you repeat the same topic the day after tomorrow, you continue like that, back to back. This is the much that you will be able to remember. But for spaced repetition, You read a topic today, then the next session you skip some days and read after a few days. Then the next session you skip some weeks, some 2 weeks, then you read, and then you continue with that pattern, increasing the interval upon which you revisit what you are reading. You can see this is the much you can be able to retain. This is called spaced repetition. This other one is called mass repetition. So you can see clearly that spaced repetition is able to arrest the forgetting curve, and therefore instead of repeating what you have been reading back to back, you want to allow your brain to just begin to forget what you've been reading before you revisit it. And that is what we call that is what is called desirable difficulty. Allow your brain to encounter some difficulty remembering. When you experience difficulty retrieving information from memory, that strengthens your memory. And so don't just cram things. Wait until your brain begins to forget, then you can revisit it. Okay. Then we've got interleaving. Interleaving is simply varying your study sessions. Vary your study session. Instead of revising a full topic in mathematics, let's say indices and logarithms, you want to vary and mix up topics and study them in one session. So have some questions on indices and logarithm, have some questions on vectors, have some questions on probability. Interleave, mix, vary your revision, your topics. That helps you to master the topics. It helps you to understand what approach to give to a particular question in the exam as opposed to another question that requires a different approach. So that is very important. I wish you a nice study at grade 10, and if you need more tips, reach out to me and we will help each other. Thank you.